Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tado jayamudiraye nashtaprayesha bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtigi krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nandagopakumaraya Govindaya namo namah. Namah Pankajanabhaya. Namah Pankajamaline. Namah Pankajanetraya. Namaste Pankajangre. Mukam karoti vachalam. Pangam langade girim. Yakrivatamaham mande. Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram. Paramananda Madhavam. Hare Krishna, welcome back to Bhagavad Gita discussion. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 9, most confidential knowledge, and today's verses 23, 24, and 25. So we'll read 23. Yebhyanya devada bhakta yajande shraddhayanvidaha tevi mameva kaunteya yajandya vidipurvakam. Yebhyanya devata bhakta yajande shraddhayanvidaha tevi mameva kaunteya yajandya vidipurvakam. Yebhyanya devata bhakta yajande shraddhayanvidaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajandya vidipurvakam. Hare Krishna. Snigdha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ye apyanya devata bhakta jajante shraddhayanvita te api mameva kaunteya jajanta vidhi purvakam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Rekha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ya Priyanya Devata Bhakta Yachante Shraddhayanvitaha Ya Pimameva Kaunteya Yachante Avadi Purvakam. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Right. Snigdha Mataji can
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
read it.
But those who worship me with devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have.
No, Mataji. You are reading 22. 23 you have to read.
Oh, sorry, Prabhuji. 23. Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. Hare Krishna.
24. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natumam abhijanandi tattve nadashavandide. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natumam abhijanandi tattve nadashavandide. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha Natumam abhijanandi tattvenadachavandide. Yes, Snigdha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhukta cha prabhureva cha na tu mam abhijananti tattvena tasyavanti te. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hey, bol. Right. Rekha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Aham hi sarvajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha nato mam apichananti Satte Natha Chaivanti Te.
You can read the translation also.
Okay, Prabhu. I am the only enjoyer and the only object of sacrifice. Those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Text. Yanti deva vrada devan pidruyanti pidruvradaha bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti madhyajno pimam yanti deva vrada devan pidruyanti pidruvradaha bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti madhyajno pimam yanti deva vrada devan pidruyanti pidruvraja bhutani yanti bhutejya Yandi Madhyajno Pimam. Rekha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yanti deva vrata deva tatra yanti pratha vrataha bhutani yanti pujante bhuteja yanti madhyajino apimam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Snigdhamaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrun yanti pitruvrataha bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti madjajinopi mam. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Can you read the translation also?
Yes, Prabhuji. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. Those who worship ancestors go to the ancestors, and those who worship me will live with me. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chachurunmeridam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Nirupagada Mahyam Dadadi Swapadantigam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udavadagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadhutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Shri Vishaganvidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpadarubheshcha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swaminidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Yebhyanya devada bhakta yajande shraddhayanvidaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajandya vidipurvakam. Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. So, from 16 to 25, Krishna is discussing pure devotees who directly worship Krishna and other people who are not actually devotees or devotees indirectly, they worship indirectly Krishna. And we have seen that in the 16 to 19 verses, those who are worshipping Krishna in his manifestation of universal form, whatever manifestations that is seen in the universe, they're worshipping that and identifying Krishna with those manifestations. That is Vishadomukham, Bahuda Vishadomukham. So by doing that, they are trying to see Krishna in every atom, in matter as well as spirit also. So that is their understanding of worship of Krishna. And verses 20 and 21, we have seen the Prutatvena, where that the spiritualists, the karmis, the so-called karmis, they are worshipping many demigods for the purpose of being elevated to heavenly kingdom and enjoy the facilities, opulences there. So because they understand, they feel that every demigod is a representative of Krishna, and Indra is Krishna, Chandra is Krishna, like that. They're saying that they are identifying with Krishna. And then verse 22nd, we have seen the pure devotees of Krishna. Ananya Devada, Ananya Chindayando Mam, Yajana Paripasade. Without deviation, they are totally focused on Krishna. And they don't think of anything other than Krishna. They don't speak any other subject other than Krishna. They don't worship anyone other than Krishna. And they don't serve anyone other than Krishna. So they are so much focused on Krishna. For them, Krishna carries whatever they want and what they like, and preserve what they have. So Krishna enables them to come back to Krishna. Nityabhyuktana, and they become the eternal associates of Krishna. So that way, devotees and Krishna have a very nice time. And then Arjuna is asking, so what is the difference between these devotees who are worshipping Krishna and other people who are worshipping demigods, where their intention is getting liberated and like that only. And they are worshipping the demigods according to the books, and devotees are worshipping Krishna according to scriptures related to Krishna, like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So why the devotees are so special? So Krishna says, okay, right, you can worship demigods, but how you worship demigods? If you're worshipping sun, like for example, they know that Krishna is supreme, but they are attachment to the body, or there's so much concern about their bodily needs and bodily desires. They try to worship Surya, for example, sun god for health, and Indra for power, Vayu for wealth, Uma Devi for husband. So like that, they are trying to worship these demigods. And sometimes I feel that the sun god is very powerful, that he can fulfill all my desires. Indra is very powerful, he can fulfill all my desires. And all those demigods are very, very powerful, so they can independently fulfill my desires. So that means these people are, Krishna says, these people are worshipping the demigods without a true understanding. Vidiguruvam, in that sense, is that without true understanding of the position of these demigods. That is the meaning. Now, if you are worshipping demigods with the understanding that they are vibhutis of Krishna only, that they are not independent on themselves, they are totally dependent on Krishna for their whatever power and whatever opulence they have, or they are able to give. They depend on Krishna only. So if they are accepted as representatives of Krishna, if they are seen as parts of Krishna, of the Vishuddhamukha, of the Virata form, different forms, different parts of the Virata form. So that is a more proper understanding. Now, Srila Prabhupada says, the Vedas are not prohibiting demigod worship, but it's regulating this demigod worship. Like in some states, you have this prohibition on liquor. They banned the liquor and the sale of liquor throughout the state. But there are some persons who cannot survive, cannot live without taking liquor. It's their constitutions like that. They're so addicted to liquor that if they have to leave, they have to take liquor. So then these people, on the proper certification of a doctor that he is not able to live without liquor, they are issued the licenses, and the wine shops are there in the city. And with that wine shop, with that license, they can go to wine shops and get the liquor. So this is a regulation within prohibition. The whole state is under prohibition. But in some cases, like people who cannot survive without meat, they want so desirous of taking meat, they are allowed to eat meat by first sacrificing these animals in front of Durga Devi. Like goats, they are sacrificed, and they are able to satisfy their desires of eating meat. So normally Vedas prohibit meat eating. Is there so many verses in Srimad Bhagavatam we find this. But because of so much prevail, there are some people are overwhelmingly under the gunas, tamoguna. They have to take a non-veg. So these people are allowed to do this. So this is a regulation. And for other things, so life, this one also, even married life also, certain people allowed to marry. People are allowed to marry. This marriage is a regulation institution to satisfy your sexual desires. So if you proper understanding is that these demigods are vibhutis of Krishna, opulent part of Krishna, and that is the right understanding. But if you understand that they are part and parts of Krishna only, they are representing Krishna, then what is the need to satisfy these demigods? If you know that they are dependent on Krishna only, then why not directly worship Krishna? Like Srila Prabhupada says in his purport, there's a government office, whatever you need. And suppose you have some, you want to construct some house, or you want to start an education institution, or you want to start some business. You need licenses, you need approved plans. So many things are there. So government officers are there to facilitate you. And you approach the government officers for your these licenses, approved plans and all that. And in due course, in a regular manner, you will be given these licenses and approved plans. Now, if you think that the people who are issuing the license, the officers of this government office, are more powerful than the government themselves, and you try to bribe them to get your things done, that is avidipurva. You need not do that. If you are routing all your things in a regular manner, your things, your will be applications, everything will be taken care of in due course by the government. And these government officers are only functionaries of government. They are servants of government. So if you need not give bribes to these servants when the master government is there. So that is avidipurvakam, indirect way of doing things. So like that way, if you understand that these demigods are nothing but these parts of Krishna, vibhutis of Krishna, it is always better to worship Krishna directly. So Krishna, in this verse, he is not approving this demigod worship. So Arjuna thinks, why then why people are confused about this? Why they are worshipping demigods other than directly serving you? Why they should do that? So in reply to that, Krishna in the 24th verse, so in answer to that, in reply to that, Krishna is replying 24th verse, Aham hi savayajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natumam abhijanandi tattvena datchavanti te. I am the only enjoyer and only object of sacrifice. Those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. So Krishna is finally revealed to Krishna, Arjuna, that all the sacrifices, all the yajnas that are mentioned in Vedas are ultimately for the satisfaction of Krishna alone. Although they may go under different names, trying to appease some demigods, but actually they are not meant for these demigods. It is actually meant for satisfaction or enjoyment of Krishna alone. Akashat padidam toyam yatha akashat padidam toyam sagaram prati gacchati sarva deva namaskaram keshavam prati gacchati. So if you're worshipping demigods, ultimately this yet book is going to ultimately going to Krishna alone. Why all these yajnas are meant for satisfaction or pleasure of Krishna? Because Krishna is the only enjoyer. He is the only bhakta. He is a Lord. He is Prabhu. Because he is Prabhu, because he is the Lord, the Supreme Lord, the only Lord, the whole Lord, the whole proprietor, or proprietor of all the worlds. So he is the only enjoyer. So Bhakta enjoy is Purusha. So Krishna is the only Purusha. Sometimes in this material world, some living entities appear as Purushas, and some living entities appear as Prakriti or Stri. And in this material conditioning, there is a relationship between husband and wife, where the husband is a predominator, he is an enjoyer, and wife is a predominated, she is being enjoyed. This is a relationship that is existing between husband and wife in this material universe. Although the husband is a predominator, enjoyer, both are equally enjoying this. So this is what you can call perverse reflection of the actual things that is taking place in spiritual world. In the spiritual world, Krishna is the only enjoyer. He is surrounded by so many millions and millions, trillions of living entities, associates, we say, associates. And they're all there only for the pleasure of Krishna. The Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, he's a predominator, and all those associates that are there, trillions and trillions, gopis, gopas, cows, peacocks, trees, all these things are existing only for the pleasure of Krishna. But here you have to understand that this understanding is not like the master-servant relationship that is being found in material world, which is relative, where master is placed at a higher level and the servant is placed at a lower level. In the spiritual world, both the Prakriti and Purusha, both the master and the servant, are placed equally in equal footing absolute, because everything is absolute in the Golok Vrindavan. Since everything is absolute in the Golok Vrindavan, there is no question of one being inferior and other being superior. One becomes a servant because of his constitutional position. The natural constitutional position of a living entity is to be the servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Krishnera Niti Das. That is the declaration given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The final word on the Swarupa of Jiva. Jiva is a living entity. It is not a mere consciousness. It is a living entity, and its natural inclination or natural dharma of this living entity is to always serve Krishna. And Krishna is also a living entity, and his natural inclination to receive the service from the living entities. So this is a relationship that is existing between Krishna and living entities. Both on equal footing, but one by nature, Krishna is a Aradhya, one who receives the servitor and being served, and other one is servitor or servant by its constitutional position. So this is a truth, this is a tattva of Krishna. In the material world, although the husband appears to be the predominator, actually in real situation, he may not be the predominator, he may be the predominated by his wife and sometimes by his children. And he's always dominated over by his senses. So we are all what we are termed the Dasa. We are all servants of the senses. And our only interest is to satisfy our senses, enjoy with senses, that's all. This is a perverse reflection of this enjoyment that is taking place in spiritual world. So here, our relationship are based on lust only. Here, when you are worshipping Krishna, or if you are not directly worshipping Krishna, because of a misunderstanding or not a correct understanding of Krishna, that he's the only supreme joy and he's the only Lord. Like Mayavadis, ultimately, they want to be one with Krishna. So naturally, that is also, they are trying to occupy the position of Krishna as an enjoyer. Since their natural position is not enjoyer, they are trying to subvert this position by trying to be equal to Krishna. So that is Abhasiddhanta, not understanding the constitution of Krishna and Jivas. And what is the effect of this Abhasiddhanta, or effect of not understanding Krishna properly? Natuma vijanandi tattvena adaschavandite. Then they fall down. All the karmis, all those people, demigod worshippers, who worship the demigods, not without true understanding, all these jnanis and these Mayavadi philosophers who are trying to merge in the Sayuj and this Brahmajyoti of Krishna without understanding Krishna, they ultimately fall down. So, what is the nature of this fall down? How you know that they are falling down? That is answered by Krishna in verse 25. He says, Yandi Deva Vrada Devan, Pidri Yandi Pidru Vradaha, Bhudani Yadi Bhutejya, Yandi Madhyajno Bimam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship ancestors go to the ancestors, and those who worship me will live with me. So different people are there. The whole world, whole universe is divided into people on the basis of gunas. Chaturvarni Maya system, Guna Karma Bhagasha. So, on the strength of gunas, on this strength of gunas, the modes of nature, these people worship according to gunas. So, people in Satuguna, they worship demigods. This is given in 17th chapter. If you go to 17th chapter, verse 7 chapter, Krishna has explained the divisions of faith. Yajande Satviga Devan, Yaksha Raksham Rajasa, Preda Bhudaganam Chanye, Yajande Tamasajana. Men in the modes of goodness worship the demigods. This is verse 4 of 17th chapter. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons, and those in the mode of ignorance and worship the ghosts and spirits. So either demons or these ancestors, these demigod worshippers, they are basically situated in the sattvic mode. So they go to the heavenly planets where the demigods are residing. And those who are in the mode of passion, they worship these ancestors and they go to planets of the ancestors. And those who are worshippers of ghosts and spirits, because they are in Tamogun, they worship these ghosts. And they ultimately go down to these hellish planets of where these ghost spirits and everything are there, and become one like them. If you go to heaven, you become a deva. If you go to demons or if you go to planets of Pudra, they assume the form of this Pudrus. So, by conducting some ceremonies and yajnas like the Darsha Purnamasi, these demigod worshippers, they achieve their ends, their goals, and end up in heavenly planets. By doing this black magic, the Krishna Prabhupada says there are many people in India who are indulging in this black magic, and they claim that this what they are indulging in this worship by black magic. They claim that they are authorized spiritual activities. You'll find them here. You'll find in Kerala also. You'll find in this city also, in Trichy also, certain parts of Susi in Trichy. You find a lot of people are engaged in this Chatan Seva, they call it Chatan Seva, or Kuti Chatan, something like that. So there are places where there are the temples of Kuti Chatans are there. So you can go to these temples and get fulfill all your desires. Mostly like, if you want to harm someone or like that. So they say that that can be done if you approach these kinds of solid satanic type, these rakshasas, ghosts, and all that. So they end up in the heavenly hellish planets. The Pidu, they end up in the middle planets. Ultimately, as you know, Abrahma, Dhuna, Loge, Punaravatana, all those planets, right from the Padala up to Brahmaloga, they are all destroyed ultimately. When they are destroyed, along with this resistance, So those who worship as demigods, they go to the place, and then in between, there of course, you come back again, let's mention in verse 21. Chine punye martilogam vishanti evam trayi dharma anipramanna gadagadam kama kama navante. So that going on cycles, but ultimately in the time of Mahapralaya, everything is destroyed. All planets are destroyed completely. So the residents of planets along with that are all destroyed. So we can see that these are all temporary things. But the bhaktas, the pure devotees, they worship Krishna only, who is situated in Sattva, not Sattvaguna, Shuddha Sattva. They are situated in Shuddha Sattva. Those who are situated in Shuddha Sattva, only devotees of Krishna. They go to the planets of Krishna and they reside with Krishna eternally. Yet Gattvanu Nivartante Tad Dhama Paramamama. There is no question of coming back unless Krishna requests some service from us, and they are being sent back to material planets to do the errands for Krishna, like our Srila Prabhupada, who is a permanent resident of Golok Vrindavan, but he came down here on instruction order of Krishna, and then he did his preaching activity very wonderfully for the satisfaction of Krishna, and then he went back, leaving that a great spiritual organization is called ISKCON for us. So ISKCON is like a ship that is left to us behind to us by Srila Prabhupada. And if somehow or other we are able to get into this ship called ISKCON and not to try to jump overboard, definitely this ship can take you to other shores. So our only business is to have deep implicit faith on Srila Prabhupada and follow each and every order of Srila Prabhupada as it is. We are all actually as it is people. Bhagavad Gita, it is as it is. Every scriptures, Vaishnava scriptures, when we are giving commentary on all the Vaishnava, on the scriptures by the Vaishnava saints, they don't add anything on their own. It is explained as it is. So we are all as it is. So we should also obey the order of Srila Prabhupada as it is. Srila Prabhupada is very particular about it. He says that to honor the spiritual master is to carry out his word, carry out his order word for word. Every word for word, the order should be honored. You cannot interpret the order. You cannot overlook the order. You cannot neglect the order. You cannot circumvent the order. You cannot debate the order. So that is the true understanding of order spirituality. Everything depends on our understanding of order. So Srila Prabhupada is such a magnanimous, great Acharya. So he has given us the scriptures, so many scriptures, nicely written for our understanding. We are all idiots. We are all people eternally in Tamogun and Rajogun. We don't have any intelligence at all. But for our benefit, he has made it so simple that we can also understand it a bit and try to engage ourselves strictly following Srila Prabhupada. And definitely one day, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we can reach our goal of Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any clarification you need?
No,
Correct.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Maji.
Shall I
Yes.
render as a nursing?
Yeah.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralad Lad Daine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatanka Nakhalai. Ito Narsingo Parato Narsingo. Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsinga. Bahir Narsinga Hridayir Narsinga. Narsingamadi Sharanam Prapade. Tabakar Kamala Bare Nakham Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhrangam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Narsingadev 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 Jaya Narsingadev Jaya Narahari 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 Jaya Narahari Jaya Prahlad Narsingha Jaya Prahlad Narsingha Jaya Prahlad Narsingha Jaya Prahlad Narsingha Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Om Ugrang Birang Mahavishnum Jolantang Sarvatomukam Nanditaram Bhadram Mrityu Namami Jai Nrsimha Jai Nrsimha Jai Jai Sri Nrsimha Jaya Padma Mukha Om Ugrang Birang Mahavishnum Jolantang
Jalantam Sarvatomukha
Nanditaram
Narasimham
Bhadram
Bhadram
Mrityu Namami Jai Nrsimha Sri Nrsimha Jai Jai Praladesa Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bhranga Sarva Vigna Vinasak Parihat Nrsimhanath ki Jai.
Jai. Go Premanande. Vancha Kalpadruvescha.
Dasya Kripa Sindhu Bevacha
Kripa
Patitanam
Sindhu Bhagavato,
Pavanabhyo
Patitanam
Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah.
Anandapuri Vaishnavrinda ki.
Jai
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai
Jai
Jai.
Go Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari.
Hari
Thank
Hari
you.
Bol.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu.
Happy
Hare
Radha,
Krishna Prabhu.
Happy Radhastami to all.
Ki
Happy Radha
Jai.
Prabhu. Happy Radha Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna
Tomorrow,
Prabhu.
please come to center today.
Hare
We are
Krishna
celebrating
Prabhu.
our day only tomorrow. Actually, we should celebrate it today, but being Sunday, we celebrate tomorrow.